Genesis chapter 5. A rather boring chapter. This is the book of the generations of Adam. Remember we talked last time about when you see that phrase, that's this guy signing off. Adam is signing off. He wrote chapter 2, 3, and 4. Eyewitness, he was there. And now Noah is going to write chapter 5, and then the first part of chapter 6, and we'll see that phrase again. These are the generations of. Coming up later. It's in the Bible, in Genesis 10 times. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam. Plural. Adam simply means man or mankind. In the day when they were created in one day. They didn't evolve slowly over millions of years. They were created in one day. And Adam, which means man, lived 130 years and begat a son in his own likeness, in his image, and called his name Seth. And the days of Adam after he begotten Seth were 800 years. And he begat sons and daughters, and all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. I read a story once about an atheist who was reading Genesis chapter 5, a genealogy chapter, kind of boring, you know, so-and-so begat so-and-so, and he begat so-and-so. But every one of them, with one exception, ends, and he died, and he died, and he died. And this atheist said, that's going to happen to me. And it is. You're going to be dead for a really long time. You might want to pack a lunch for that trip. Okay. And Seth lived 105 years and begat Enos, and it tells how long he lived, and he died. And the rest of this chapter is a whole bunch of names, how old they were when their first son was born, how long they lived after that, and it turns out to be hundreds of years in every case, 600, 700, 800 years. And, and then they all died, except for this guy. Enoch lived 65 years and begat Methuselah. You've heard the expression as old as Methuselah. He happens to be the guy who lived the longest, 969, but there was a couple others that got pretty close. And Enoch walked with God after he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. That's an interesting number. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. All the rest of them say, and he died, and he died, and he died. No, not Enoch. God took him. I don't know what that means. It seems like, my preacher used to say, you know, Enoch got so close to God, they'd walk and talk with God. He'd be talking to God all the time, and one day he's walking and talking with God, and God says, hey, Enoch, we're closer to my house than your house. Why don't you just come home and spend the day with me? And since there's no night there, he's still spending the day with God, okay? I don't know if it's true, but it preaches really good. So I enjoyed that. So Enoch walked with God. Now, they're coming later in the New Testament time, two witnesses who are going to be sharing the gospel. They are in this box right here. The two witnesses, they testify for the Lord for 1,260 days, 3.5 years. Their testimony has to start before the rapture. It ends after the fifth trumpet, which one of those judgments lasts 5 months. So I've got them on my chart, starting here someplace, ending here. God never leaves the world without a witness. When we are taken up out of here, if anybody's left alive, the witnesses are going to be there witnessing. Probably Enoch and Elijah, my guess, because those two guys in the Old Testament never died. Couldn't prove that. It doesn't say who they are, but that's just my guess, because it's appointed unto man once to die. And they haven't died yet. So I think that's probably who it's going to be. Doesn't matter. Anyway, there will be two witnesses, but God took him straight to heaven. And Methuselah lived 187 years and begat Lamech, a different Lamech. And Methuselah lived after he begat Lamech and Methuselah lived 969, and he is the oldest. And Lamech lived 182 years and begat a son and called his name Noah, saying, this same shall comfort us concerning our work. The word Noah means rest or comfort, relax, slow down, it's fine. Noah means comfort. For concerning our work and toil of our hands, which because of the ground which the Lord hath cursed. Lamech lived after he begat Noah 595 years and begat sons and daughters, and all the days of Lamech were 777. Now he's the shortest lived of all of them. 777, and he died. Noah was 500 years old, and he begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Now later we find out that Japheth is the elder. So I have on my chart that I made about this, and I added up, being a mathematician, I added up all the dates. Okay, Adam's 130 when his son is born, and he lives 800 years. His son is 105 when his son is born, and he lives 807 years. So I graphed it out to scale. You can get 6 of these for 30 bucks if you want on our website. And we got them heavy laminated for if you want placemats when your skeptic friends come for lunch. Take a set of these to Romania, brother, when you go for dinner table. On the back is a whole bunch of stuff about Grand Canyon, which could not possibly have been formed by the Colorado River. Read all the stuff on there. But if you want a set of those, call the office. I don't know if the website's all working now for orders or not. They can call 855-BIG-DINO. That works for sure. Other stuff may or may not work. But anyway, I graphed it out and made this chart right here. If you can get these, 855-BIG-DINO. But the dates in the Bible clearly add up to about 6,000 years total, or 4,000 BC. Now the Schofield Bible, I got one right up there, they have their center notes. He said it was 4004 BC. Some of the scholars over the years have spent years working on all these dates, and they say, oh, it's 4004 BC, October 23rd at 2 in the afternoon. I don't think you can get that close from the dates in the Bible. We do know Adam was made in the afternoon because it was just before Eve. It's the only clue I found. And I think I figured out why he made Adam first. Now, Seth, you're not married, you won't appreciate this, but I think God made Adam first because he didn't want any advice on how to do it. I can see it now. No, God, you're doing it wrong. Okay, Eve, go stand over there. I can handle this. Anyway, the new textbooks are calling it BCE now, before the Common Era, instead of BC, because Christ is gone out of our schools. That's another story. Before the Common Era. Okay, anyway, the name Adam means man. Seth means appointed. Enos means mortal. Canaan means sorrow. Mahalalel means the blessed God. Jared means shall come down, or shall bring. Enoch means teaching. Methuselah means his death shall bring. God told Enoch to name your boy Methuselah, because when he comes, that's the end of the world, bud. And sure enough, when Methuselah died, the flood came. Now his daddy Enoch, or Lamech, would have died a couple years before that, so Noah didn't have to go on that ark and try to beg mom and dad to come. Grandpa died. Everybody else was dead before that. But he had brothers and sisters that drowned in the flood. Because Lamech lived, a long time. 595 years and begat sons and daughters after Noah. Sometimes your own family's the hardest one to reach and get to believe it. Freddie, you're going to Romania, try to reach some of them. Praise God, I hope you get it. But there's some in my family I never did reach. Still haven't. Been a Christian almost 49 years. Still haven't got them. What do you do? Well, go get somebody else's brother or sister or mom or dad, or son or daughter. So Lamech means the despairing, and Noah means rest. Did you know these first 10 names in the book of Genesis make a sentence? Man is appointed mortal sorrow, but the blessed God shall come down, teaching that his death shall bring the despairing rest. The gospel is all through the Bible. You should study Bible codes, the hidden codes in the Bible, where they go every 7th letter and makes a whole other word, or every 49th letter. Have you studied that any? You guys are engineers. Have you seen that, brother? Phenomenal. Only God could write a book like that.